Hey guys, it's been a while since I made a video for you. In fact, I shot this video like 3 times. I just didn't get a chance to caption it, and it didn't feel right to release, so here I am now. I'm taking this concept from Alex Becker. If you don't know who he is, he's this YouTuber who he has his own like coding company. I wouldn't call him an influencer in crypto, but he kind of is. It sounds kind of crazy that there's this bro guy that I'm citing inspiration from, but he makes some great points. And honestly, if you ever listen to him, he's got a lot of validity to what he says, even though it might be somewhat offensive. But I'm not going to be that offensive here, I hope. So here's the thing. For all you dads out there, if you're struggling, there could be a variety of reasons, but a lot of it is internal. It's internal. You don't have the energy. You feel like you're financially struggling. You feel like you're not connecting with your partner. You might have trouble with children's behavior, but most of the time you're having trouble with yourself. Why can't you connect on all these habits? We actually have everyone has the same number of hours in the day. We all have the same opportunities in some sense. And it harkens back to something that another mentor of mine, Greg Todd, told me like in one of my first meetings. When you are stepping to actually become a man, you got to kill the boy. You got to stop being a boy and really own up to all your responsibilities. And the other framework Alex Becker talks about is looking at in terms of like gamifying, unlocking things. So there are 4 locks essentially. I'll tell you right away so you can see them now, and then you can scroll ahead and look at the information. So number 1, unearned dopamine hits. That's one lock. You got to unlock that. Number 2, the tummy lock. You got to unlock that gut lock that keeps blocking you from being productive and being effective. Number 3, that's the purpose lock. And that's following things that line up with your core values and acting as such and identifying as such. And number 4, that's the garbage lock. Okay, so let me talk about this here, and let me talk about the relevance to what you do in fatherhood and just being an effective person in general. So 1, dopamine, unearned dopamine. It should be no secret that every major corporation, every major company that sells you shit, they're out for your money and for your attention. They spend millions of dollars on their marketing, on understanding their audience and understanding their psychology and what hooks you and what reels you in, what keeps you addicted. Especially things like junk food, entertainment, video games, pornography. Those things are meant to draw your brain in and keep on tapping that same reward circuit over and over and over again. Now, these are vices. Don't get me wrong, they're vices. They're not illegal, but they're vices. And I'm not here to shame anyone. If you feel triggered by this, I'm sorry. You don't have to watch me. But honestly, if these are part of your life and you're not crushing it, then you need to examine why. So every time you do something and expect a reward, their structures, neurons secrete dopamine to tap those reward circuits. You have this expectation of reward, you receive it. And when you do that with minimal effort, that reward circuit gets tapped over and over and over again, where you don't really want to put in the effort to get that pleasure, that comfort. So getting rid of that dopamine lock is absolutely essential there. When you do that, then you might have the patience to see a little long term, to tolerate things like struggles that you got during feeding times with your kids, to be more engaged and more present. When you're stuck on that dopamine lock, you're gonna be stuck to your phone. You know, how many dads have I seen at the park glancing at their phones while they're pushing a swing? Hell, I've been that person. Okay? There are a number of reasons. Social media, mobile games. Mobile games, don't underestimate them. They make a lot of money, and they're really addictive. They're worse than like your Xbox and PS5s and stuff, but those are also problems too. Am I calling for abstinence? I don't know, but if you're not operating at 100%, this is probably why. You got to get this mastered first before you move on. Now, once you move on from that and kind of working concurrently, you got to look at the tummy locks. Now, again, we kind of look at that reward circuit concept. If you are eating a highly inflammatory diet, you're eating junk food, you eating spicy foods, and you have mental health issues or like you get anxiety, you're likely to have some like more exacerbated IBS. You're likely to feel more fatigued, lethargic. You might cite, oh, this is a gluten intolerance. No, this is a you can't control what you eat intolerance. I've been that person too. I've eaten crap and I've paid in excess, you know. Little hot sauce, man, that takes me out of commission for forever. It's more than just that day. It's like 2 or 3 days that you're just feeling like ugh, and you can't work out as well. You can't be at your best at work, and you're not going to be at your best for your family. So you got to eat right and don't overeat. I'm not talking about 6-packs or anything. I'm just talking about feeling right for the day. You know what helps with that? Water. Water's great. Limit your alcohol to, if you can, nothing. But if you can't, like a drink every couple of weeks, you know. If you're struggling with alcoholism, get help. If you're struggling with gaming addiction, porn addiction, gambling addiction, get help. Get professional help. All right, number 3 is that purpose lock. Now this one actually you should kind of have in the bag if you got kids. But if this is not lining up with you, I don't know if I can help you. That is purpose. You need to, what your identity is, what you tell yourself, it needs to line up with what you do and what you say. If there's an incompatibility there, things are gonna be off. You're not gonna be showing up right. And that goes back to, you know, remove that unearned dopamine stimulus, that behavior, remove those gut locks, okay? And then think, is what I'm doing, what I'm saying, how I'm feeling, does that contribute to my core purpose and my core values? And those core purposes and values really should circle around making the best possible life for your family. You might not be believing in handing over like a large inheritance. That's fine. That's fine. But it should be about, you know, crafting a good human being. It should be modeling great behavior. It should be for your son being a kind of man that you want your son to become, who is going to be self-sufficient, who's going to be kind, who's going to take leadership, who's going to make good decisions, who's going to be able to make decisions. You should be making daughters who are looking for the right partners, who are going to, you know, pave their own way or support their families themselves, you know, but independent thinkers who are strong. Okay? So purpose. And then you might have a career purpose as well. You know, maximize your service to others while maximizing your finances so you can retire well and live well. You know, maximizing your relationship. You got married to someone you love, I hope. And, you know, when you have kids, things kind of start to get tested a lot. You know, you got to divide the chores. You don't have as much time for each other. I tell you what, you eliminate problems from those first 2 locks, then this one becomes much better. Okay? So that's your purpose lock. And number 4, garbage locks. Now you've mastered the first 3 or you're working on them. Now you got to identify what triggers are going to make you revert your behavior. If you have toxic friends that like drinking, that want to play video games all the time, you might have to remove yourself from them. Doesn't mean you hate them, but it means you are now becoming a different person. You ever notice, like, you don't really talk to those single guys anymore because you're a parent. You gotta deal with your family stuff. You know, you might have to remove triggers that, you know, make you want to watch porn. So, you know, stay off. It's hard because people are selling their bodies all the time, but, you know, remove yourself from as much stimulus that involves a lot of nudity, that involves a lot of skin. I know we're in 2023. This is kind of a thing. OnlyFans really took off and everything, but like, and I'm sounding like a boomer here, but there's a lot of value to it. What good is that bringing to your life to put you in a situation where you're distracted from your purpose? So take away that stimulus. You know, sell your video game consoles if you're still playing video games. Stop going to sports bars. Give your alcohol collection away if that becomes an issue here. Whatever you need to trim the back the most, do it decisively. Don't kind of half-ass it, okay? You follow these 4 things, I guarantee you're going to see a positive change if you're not already crushing it, okay? And so let me know what you think. You know, you don't have to change everything at once, but be decisive. If you have some bad habits you got to eliminate, choose the most impactful one first and work on that. Because when you do that, you're going to feel great and you're going to want to go after the next one. Okay? So I'll talk to you guys later. I owe you guys a graphic on the child safety and baby proofing and more videos on that. But you got to take care of all of this because you want to be at your best capacity to provide the best safe environment, to be the best model for your kids, to in a situation where you got to rescue them from like a burning car. Hopefully that never happens, but if you do, you're able to do it. You know, and you got to have that awareness and instinct to make the right decisions at home too. So please do these things. All right, I'll talk to you later.